Hi, hello, hello. It's Elogenia here, and in this video session, I am delighted to present to you Passlink. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I hinted everyone within my connection on LinkedIn that I was going to embark on um, starting up a project, or building a project called Passlink, which is an event checking application. So the application was inspired by, the thoughts of having an application that organizations can easily enlist their events, and participants, potential participants all over the world can easily as well, you know, find these events without having to log in or sign up. That's an interesting part for me, and you know, indicates that they're interested in attending these events. So it goes beyond that. I was part of an event planning committee a few months ago, and there was this question: how can we track our guest lists? How can we know the number of people? How can we ascertain the guests who indicated that they will be attending and the guests who really attended from that list? So there was a direct need to track attendees' behavior towards registration of the event, checking in of the event, and also post event feedback as well. So I was made to embark on the task of looking out for applications that can satisfy that need. And it was a game of, finding applications who partially have that solution and partially not meet some other requirements. Well, the organization had to make do with what they had on ground. And yes, the event went on smoothly. But it's struck a chord in my heart and got me really thinking to work on something like that. And here is Passlink. When I started Passlink, I started. I kicked off with the standard procedure of development, which includes doing my research and coming up with a front end design architecture or front end system design, as you may call it, go into the system architecture and eventually compiling all my research data to produce what we have here. I reached a decision to embark on this journey, having modularity as a key consideration or requirement in doing this. That is the ability for the entire program to be subdivided into separate programs that can be integrated as one. So currently, the user homepage, at least we can say the user interface for guests, is 90% complete. And I'm here to present this version to you. Going forward, on completion of this particular version, I will be embarking on the tasks to build the page where users can register for events and view their registered events. That is the second phase of the development process. And the last phase will be to work on the organization portal where organizations can easily create events and not just create events, but also manage and track the guests' behavior, number of guests, and details of guests who will be attending, the details of guests who attended, and also their get guest feedback as well. So, key things I have put in place, which I felt or I observed based on inputs from the research surveys, is that guests would most likely shy away from always trying to sign up and log in into applications. So in other words, when applications seem too personal, users may tend to just want to go the easy way round or seek for easier ways to do that. I don't understand why, but I think I concur. I agree with that. most times I would find it easier to receive applications that do not require for me to log in to access information, that I need. Again, based on the feedback I got and the feedback data received on survey, I realized that organizations and organizers will do a lot more and perform a lot more in organizing events if they have enough data from previous events, yeah, especially on the guest behavior and what not. Yeah, and of course, with that data, they can make better choices, like getting to understand why there was an increase in guest registrations, why there was a decrease in the number of guests who actually attended the event, compared to the number of guests who indicated they'll be attending, and eventually get to seek out ways to strategize, yeah, enabling, or let me say, seek out ways to strategize to solve that particular problem and to come up with solutions to ensure they have more guests attending, indicating that they'll be attending, and more guests or equal number of guests attending eventually the event. Okay, and in other words, or as a result, I would say, I've come up with ways to get such data. And you might wonder, how would Passlink enable organizations tell the guests who attended? Yes, Passlink is going to work with passcodes, that users can scan, unique links to events that includes users codes and all that, things like that. I'm not going to put out all the information, but yes, with Passlink, organizations can tell the users who really attended from their guest lists easily, seamlessly, without users having to fill another form at the event, be it online or on site. Yeah. So permit me at this point to walk you through what we have currently on Passlink. So Passlink was built, yeah, with the mindset, the goal, or the vision of achieving a very interactive interface, yet keeping it simple and attention grabbing. For example, you can see here with the color combination that it's appealing and also has emphasis on key areas where users would need to interact with. This will help users to know exactly what to do and reduce mental strain of having to think and figure out what next step to take. Starting from the nav bar, we have a minimal nav area that just contains the branding of the application and a registered event, yeah, link or button there. This is not so conventional as you'll find in different or modern web applications, where you have different navigation items. Yes, every product, requires different approach to best suit the products and the users. But I have decided to think out of the box. If I want the users of this application to find it lightweight, easy, and less stressful, then only relevant nav links should be displayed per time. So here, when the user logs in, they get to know their pass link and they can decide to check out their registered events, which leads them to a page where they can find the events that they have registered for on Passlink. And going down, you can see on the body area, I have used more like a dark color scheme in a way that emphasizes the CTA or the major information area of the web application. On the right of this section, we can also find infographics giving more like a brief insight to users on what steps they can take within the application. At least this provides a lot more information in a simple manner to users, still helping to save users the time and effort in thinking or about what to expect. There are times I visit an application and I just presented with what they need me to do at that time, but in a way that I feel, in a way that makes me feel there's more to be said than this. So, of course, it can arouse curiosity in me, but at the same time, it can make me feel like the application is complex on the back end. So, this makes it look a lot simple. And there is an interactive arrow button here trying to get the attention of the user. Remember, I mentioned emphasis, to inform the user that this is clickable and there is something that I need to show you. We also have another arrow that is grayed out, which kind of should tell the user that this is where you're currently at right now, and there is more to show you. So when I click on this arrow, or clicking on the arrow, I find another slide that talks about, Passlink as an event management portal as well, and gives insights on how Passlink achieves this goal of an effective event management portal, and gives me a call to action button stating I can add events. So of course the arrows have also conditionally change their mode of display, telling me that I can head back and I have reached the limits for the slides. So before we go there, before we go there, there is an infographic here also trying to hint a potential organizer going through this page what they can achieve by using Passlink as their event management portal, which makes it informative and concise. Now, at this point, I want to give a shout out to Emil Hadrick. Now, you might wonder why. Emil Hadrick is the founder of a knowledge-based company and web application called HelpJuice. I've had the opportunity to discuss with him and kind of meet with him on LinkedIn, and with my interactions with his posts and the few times I had to interact with him, I learned something, which is the ability of a UI UX designer to tailor the design of a product to meet and satisfy the needs of the users and present the product in a more relevant way. So while I was working on the UI UX of this application, just in case you don't know, I have a sound UI UX background, which I had earned from Melody Designs between 2015 to around 2017. So yes, I am a UI UX designer, or I have great UI UX design skills and insights, which gives me an advantage in front end development as well, as you can see. All right, rather than taking the normal route the UI UX designers would, by going off to make researches and eventually landing with an option of me too option, as Emil Adric put it in one of his posts. I had decided to be more specific, yet not to come up with a design that would be too complex and would probably feel like it has to be studied to understand. Yeah. So this is not a me too design, and thanks Emil for pointing that out, as that really helped me in coming up with the UI UX of this web application. So going forward, you see that the user will click on find events, and it's really interactive, and it has some effects to show that it's an exciting action to take. Of course, that is the user experience that I intended for users to have when navigating this application, to feel excited. Of course, it's an event you're about to sign up for, so or register for. You should be excited about it. So that is the reason behind some of these interactive elements and effects that I have imputed or included in building this application. All right, so going down, we can find a very minimal yet informative footer. Right here, users can easily tell how the application serves them, and organizations can also tell how the the application serves them. Yeah, looking at this, I might just change this from organizations to organizers. So we have guests and organizers. So this would speak more and appeal more better to organizers rather than organizations. Yeah. So we also have some quick links here, which on hover, right, gives a nice effect. and some copyright details, information about the developer. So by using any of these links, you will be connecting directly to me. I worked on this project as a solo project, and I have not collaborated with any developer or UI UX designer while or product manager while working on this project. And for now, and probably will do so in the future. So that's it. It's simple, straight to the point, but that's not all. The registered events link currently is on construction because, as I said, it falls within the second phase of development where we will have a page where available events will be listed and also can be registered for, So on that particular page, then we can have this link, lead there. Registered events would display just the events registered. Add events will head to the Passlink portal for organizers, and the find events will also lead to the page where users can find events. So on the quick links, yes, they are interactive and also functional. So on clicking the about button, we have details on that provide information on what Passlink is all about and how and the value that it brings to both guests and organizations. Now, there's something interesting and exciting on these information or informative sections of the web application. We now have more, we have access now to more nav options or navigation links. So here we have a simple menu. Now, this helps to minimize the rate at which users will have to scroll to get to the next link or next option. Yeah, so it makes it easier. Once they scroll up and they begin to read, they can easily just come here and click on whichever option that they want. With this, our major navbar can be kept simple, clean, and these navigation links, which would have not been relevant on the main navbar, but can be displayed based on relevance. That is, it will only be displayed when the user has interacted with any of the information pages, indicating that, yeah, this user wants to learn more. So let's present you with avenues to learn more. And upon clicking on this home icon, the user is reverted back to the home page. Now, these decisions with regards to design were not just reached as an idea, they followed due fundamental programming concepts. And with this aspect of not allowing users or forcing users to have access to functions they don't need per time, in programming, it's called abstraction, right? It's an object-oriented principle, and yes, it aligns with the principle of presenting the user interface based on relevance, right? And again, the reasons why we have, all these CTAs, action buttons, very easy to see, and for example, the copy here, this helps the user to copy this text instead of highlighting and copying. By clicking copy, it will be copied, right? I have also aligned with a programming concept called emphasis. Yeah, a design concept called emphasis. And if we head to the code base, which I will be showing you shortly, there are some concepts like accessibility. So, in other words, each of the call to action buttons have labels to aid accessibility for screen readers to be able to, say what that call to action button does, giving insights to people, guests who need to use the application with screen readers to take informed actions around the application. Again, I worked on, like I said, this application using minimal design concepts, which is also a fundamental, and modularization. Of course, we don't have the entire application this way. It's broken down in phases, and each of the pieces would be able to exist individually and can be merged to work together as one. Then there are things like memoization. So these information section are not different components. It's just one component rendering different details. So with React, which is front end is built with React, we call it reusable component. It's called reusable component. So there is a reusable component that takes in this data and renders it based on request. And I like to call it memoization, right? If it already exists, if there's already data, then that is what we have. If there is already data about, if there's an existing data, that's what we have. Except that if there is an update, for example, by clicking features, then the update takes precedence over the former content. Awesome. And with the file structure, heading to the file structure, I have structured the files within the React application to align with logical hierarchy and separate concerns. That means right here, because I see this particular phase of Passlink as the home page. There is a homepage directory that houses the data, the JavaScript files, and the style sheet files. And the style sheet files for that houses the desktop style sheets and the mobile tablet style sheets, which makes it easy for the application to be maintained. And lastly, but not the least, I have also done something quite interesting to enhance the maintainability of this application, which is this. I'll just put it out there and practicalize it. In a case where this application, for example, is purchased and deployed by another company and another team, I would like to add, some more information. You know, I have put to play or taken into consideration the need for easy maintenance by ensuring that the code works dynamically, and can easily be modified without having to modify a lot of pages, put in a lot of changes. So for example, on the data which I'm getting in as an hard-coded data is not something that needs to be dynamically rendered. So it just exists, but it exists in JSON format. So for example, if I should add another option here and call it sitemap and save, automatically we have sitemap. Remember, take note, please. I did not do anything functional. I didn't go into any JavaScript file. All I needed to do was update the JSON. So imagine if the JSON file was existing in a database that can be, of course, updated, edited. Yeah, once that edit is done, once that new update is made, it just reflects. And if I should take any of these out, it will reflect immediately and they can be clicked. And, of course, you need to provide details. On the data directory, we have another file that houses the details. So once the details are added and the path here in the app.js is updated in the route, that's it. That's it. All you need to do is update your database, put it that will update your data and add the path in the route. And yeah, it works perfectly. Simple. Simple. So